But goodwill and relief alone isn't going to spell a lasting peace for our country. As we inch closer to an end to the war, all eyes, local and international, are on the government to make sure that peace will prevail in the long term. Yesterday, I spoke to Mahinda Samarasinghe, the Minister of Disaster Management and Human Rights, to find out his views on this matter. Thank you, Minister Samarasinghe, for talking to me today about the developments in the country, especially on the international community. Now, a UN press release following the visit in the north of Sir John Holmes describes the situation in Sri Lanka as a twin humanitarian crisis, referring to those who are trapped by the LTTE and also those who are displaced and injured. Now, this is clearly a challenge for anyone. How is the government coping with it?
Well, we are coping the best way that we could. It's definitely a challenge because on the one hand, we now have nearly 200,000 IDPs in government control areas who have escaped the LTT, sacrificing their lives in the process of coming over to government control areas. Of course, they have to be received and looked after. So that's a huge challenge. The other aspect of the challenge, of course, is that there's still some left back with the LTT, and we need to secure their release as well. So these are the dual challenges that Sir John was referring to. I must say he was quite happy with the way that we have progressed since his last visit. Of course, he did flag that there were still shortcomings, there were still concerns as far as he was concerned.
This week has seen the visit of the UN envoy, Sir John Holmes, as well as two other foreign delegates. Now, what does the government expect from the international community in addressing this problem?
Well, government has gone on record as saying that we are willing to take the full responsibility of these IDPs because these are Sri Lankan citizens. These are our people, they are not outsiders. And naturally, the government would have to take responsibility. And we have made that known as well as we have acted on that basis. Whatever the international community assists us with is merely to complement the efforts of the government. So it's an additional assistance that is given, and we've been working very closely with the UN system. The various UN organizations are very active in those areas. They have been assisting us with a lot of humanitarian relief measures, and Sir John had discussions with me, and he subsequently, when he met with the President, he pledged $10 million from the Emergency Response Fund that he has under his control as the chief of the UN humanitarian arm. And he also said that he would be willing to look at some more resources to be released. There are other post-conflict challenges such as reintegration of these people into the mainstream of society, reintegration of ex-combatants, rehabilitation which is needed because a lot of these people have been subject to a conflict situation for quite a long time. And there is psychotrauma counseling, for example, which is needed for some of them. This will have to be given. So there's quite a lot of challenges even in the post-conflict phase once terrorism is eradicated. And we believe that the UN especially can play a vital role in complementing government's efforts in these areas, and we would be looking towards working very closely with them even in the future.
So their assistance will be needed immediately as well as in the long term, in the recovery process as well?
Yes, that's what we have told them, yes.
Okay, now you mentioned that Sir John Holmes is donating $10 million. Have there been any other donors also?
Oh yes, we've been getting quite a lot of assistance, not quite some time in fact. The UN has what is called the Common Humanitarian Action Plan, which is a plan based on the needs in the various sectors in relation to IDP relief activity. And this plan has been worked out in consultation with the government by the UN. And we have presented that to donors, and a lot of bilateral friends of Sri Lanka have been mobilizing funds for this purpose, and quite a lot of money has been given to Sri Lanka on the basis of this plan. And I must also state for the record, countries like Japan and India have been very helpful to Sri Lanka, and India has gone on record as saying that they would be looking towards playing a very active role in the rehabilitation and reconstruction phase. So we're looking towards getting assistance from very close friends of Sri Lanka, such as India, Japan, and other countries in the West as well.
But will these funds be sufficient for what is required?
As I said earlier, these are our people, these are Sri Lankan citizens. The government has said that they will take full responsibility. So even if there is no assistance coming from international sources, we will ensure that the money is found so that our commitment towards a group of our people would be comprehensively fulfilled.
The war will soon be over and hopefully things will ease up in the country now. What would you say is the greatest challenge the country faces in ensuring that the achievements so far are translated into a lasting peace?
For that, we need to build confidence amongst the people who are now IDPs, who are civilians in the north and the east. We need to send the correct message to them. We need to ensure that Sri Lanka respects diversity, that we are willing to protect and nurture the multiculturalism in our country, the multi-religious fabric in our country, the multilingual nature of our country. These are diversities that are there in a multicultural community like Sri Lanka. And we need to send a message that, like what the Constitution says, that everyone is equal and that there is freedom for everyone to adopt and follow the religion of their choice, or to speak in the language that they think that they are most comfortable in. If there are two official languages like Tamil and Sinhala, then we need to put in place systems that would not only limit it to words and in the laws of the country, but also it is put into action. So basically, there are a lot of things which need to be done apart from what I said earlier about the reintegration of ex-combatants, reintegration of the ordinary people into the mainstream of society, the rehabilitation aspects, etc. So there's quite a lot of challenges, and we are aware of these challenges, and we are quite confident that we'll be able to measure up to these challenges.
Has the government started anything to send this message across, or will it be done in time?
No, we are doing that. We are doing that. I think the Eastern Province is a good example of what we did soon after liberating those areas. There were local government elections, there were provincial elections. Today there is a Tamil Chief Minister, the number 2 of the LTT. Karuna is today a minister in the government, in fact Vice President of the SLFP. There is a conscious effort being undertaken by the government to make our citizens in those areas feel that they have not only in words but in deeds equal rights under the laws of this country.